On the road to MotoGP, this is FAB-Racing.
MotoTeam, they've got their own race. They were fighting for it. They desperately wanted to. Don't put us in with the PB140s. We want to go there, go toe-to-toe. They were allowed to do it at the end of last season, and it was absolutely sublime. So I'm so happy they've managed to have it again.
And an extra factor in this year as well is they will be split. There will be the MotoTeam Supersport, which we were used to seeing last year, and also the Superstock 125s. So these will be 125cc four-stroke machines that are allowed to go in there. Those are similar to the pit bikes we saw in the MotoTeam last year. And number 76, Jamie King, will be running one of those 125cc four-strokes. Of course, last year's pit bike 140 champion. He will be ready to do battle in a new class for him, the Superstock 125s within the Moto teams. So, of course, keep an eye on the overall winner and the winner in the Superstock 125s. But they will be ready to go out and do battle here at Lydd for their very first race of the 2021 Moto Team season. All the names have come back into this one, and it's going to be really interesting to see how these guys cope back on track once again after a long winter break.
Yeah, and MotoTeam is a fantastic series because it is, as it says, it is a team. So these bikes are entered as a bike. You can have anyone on it. So if you'd like to get involved, get in touch, go to FAB-Racing.co.uk and you can find out how to get yourself on the grid here in MotoTeam. And we've seen guys that maybe have taken a tumble in race one and they just pass it off to a teammate and they go out there and score the same points for that bike. And there's so much camaraderie between the MotoTeam guys. You see them having a laugh down in the paddock together, and it is always great fun to go down there and have a quick chat with them. I was speaking to Jason Pugh last season, and I think he's my tip this season on that number 8 bike. He had some really unfortunate incidents late on in the season that just cost him that championship battle with Simon Clowes. But the number 8, well, he's going to go out there and we'll see. He picked up some good results when last time we were here in Lydd. Can he do the same? He was involved in the last lap battle last time we were here, the first round of the season 2020. Unfortunately, with just a few corners left to go, the engine just cut out on him. So he's going to want a bit of recompense for that, and he's going to go out there. But as you said, a dual, sort of a split series with 2 different types of bike, that's going to open up a different avenues and opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be really interesting to see. It's a brand new category, a brand new idea going into this season. So and it's brought brand new riders, the likes of Jamie King, of course, Jason Pugh on that baby blue at number 8 as a rider we're used to seeing next year, and the likes of Ian Jackson, who was on that 125 4-stroke last year. We'll be able to see him run within that Superstock category, so he now has a category for that type of bike. So a very always interesting racing from these MotoTeam guys. Like you said, of course, any rider can jump on one of these bikes and score points for that bike, with it being a team category, which makes it interesting because, like you say, last year we had the champion who in fact couldn't come to or couldn't make it for one of the races due to injury. He had a step-in rider on his bike, but it just looks as if we have someone who's just had a little bit of problem there, but they're back on and got going. So would have been a pretty poor start to your 2021 season if you couldn't even start the first race.
No, that's yeah, you're quite right. It's probably disheartening as you make your way out, ready to start your season, and unfortunately it just falls away from underneath you. But these guys getting out there, getting ready to, they're just doing one extra warm-up lap as they go around, as Iana Glover makes her way out on circuit as well. But yeah, the Moto team have always enjoyed going toe-to-toe with each other. Like I said, they were in with the Pitbike 140s last season. They managed to get their own race, and then they put on an absolute show. A couple of races back at Rara were absolutely supreme, and I do definitely suggest, if you want to go back and check any, go to FAB-Racing, their YouTube channel, where you can go back, of course, watch all of last season's action and catch in with what the MotoTeam guys were doing, especially up at Rara. It was fantastic. But you are watching the first round of the season of the 2021 FAB-Racing Minibike British Championship. Myself, Gareth Hall, and joined, as always, for the rest of the season by Stock 600 rider Trystan Finocchiaro. So, Moto team, final race of the day, Trystan. Where's this one going?
Oh, I'd hate to call it this early on. We don't want to give any commentators curse like we did in the MKGP 70s, with Ethan Sparks. J King does look pretty good on that 76 bike, but we don't want to jinx him as he goes into this one. Of course, my co-presenter over on the Superbike shows that we always have good fun on there, and it's a good informative show as well. So make sure you check that out over on Motorsport Radio as well, where you can see J King, Superstock 125 rider, and of course 2020 Pitbike 140 champion. He's out there in a brand new category for him this year. He's out there to have a bit of fun, do battle, and maybe pick up a championship in a category that he hasn't won before.
No, absolutely not. But they're getting ready, filing into position, getting ready to send it down to turn one for the first time. Jamie King, Fraser Kinnaird, Jason Pugh, Phil Mappleback, Ian Jackson, Phil Joyce, and Steve Briggs. The 7 of them getting ready to absolutely send it. And that's usually what you see from these guys on these MotoTeam bikes. And they are not too worried about trading paint into some of these corners. We saw it a lot of the time last season from these guys, really getting the elbows out and not wanting to give up any quarter whatsoever. But it is the final race of the day here for the first day of the FAB-Racing Minibike British Championships from Lydd. And we are getting ready in a lovely sunny Friday afternoon to send it down to turn one with Jason Pugh on pole position, holding on to it into T1 behind Jamie King. Folds into second position. Good start there from Jamie, right on the tail of Jason already, but Jason Pugh on the 8 bike holding on to first as they go through the second chicane into turn 4, and Jason Pugh holding on to this one. Great start from him. He's definitely going to want to take this one, but Jamie not giving up whatsoever. In fact, he's got a tighter line and he's going to take the lead going into turn 5.
Yeah, really good drive out of the top end there from Jamie King. Just got the power down right when he needed to, and that's what set him up for a move down into there. Coming down onto the back straight for the first time. He's trying to put all that power down on that 125, but it's the 8 of Jason Pugh who makes it up the inside into the final corner, and Ian Jackson makes his way through on Jamie King as well. Just sits up the number 76, saying, "This is my line, I am coming through." Brilliant overtake there from the number 7 of Ian Jackson, a rider we saw very strong in this category last year. Number 76, Jamie King, trying to go around the outside. That's not going to work through there.
No, absolutely not. But Jamie, of course, Pitbike 140 champion, is going to send it into turn 4, gets the move done. Brilliant overtaking from your reigning Pitbike 140 champion. And now he's going to try and come back at Jason Pugh. But Jason is once again, he's going to get done in the corners, but down the back straight, he really opens up that bike. Jamie just can't quite live with him down towards the final corner. So Jason Pugh leads away this top 3 of Jason Pugh, Ian Jackson, Jamie King, all fighting over a top 3 behind Steve Briggs, Fraser Kinnaird, Bernie Hook now trying to get himself in the battle for 4th place.
Yeah, brilliant battle as well for 4th between Briggs, Kinnaird and Hook. That's one that's hotting up really nicely as well. Jamie King with the fastest lap of the race on that last lap with a 47.2, so a brilliant lap there from Jamie King. Jason Pugh just still holding on to this race lead on that baby blue number 8, but it is Steve Briggs who's holding on to that 4th place ahead of the number 3 of Fraser Kinnaird. Also just on the back of them is Bernie Hook. You can see those familiar leathers from earlier on in the senior Minimoto race, but they're the number 76, Jamie King, leading this race now ahead of Jason Pugh. He's made his way up into the lead of this one and is defending ahead of the baby blue number 8. Right over to the other side, using every inch of the circuit there, was Ian Jackson taking the car park route.
Yeah, unfortunately for Ian Jackson, that rumble strip there, the rumble strips feel like they're about 3.5 miles deep, so they've gone right up his spine, but he's desperately trying to hold on to the back of Jason Pugh. And Jason, unfortunately, now dropping down to 2nd place, and Jamie just extending that gap up at the front now. It's now just over half a second, but the top 3 have really started to make a breakaway. They're 5.8 seconds ahead of Steve Briggs in 4th place, but of course the from 5th all the way down to 8th place are now all involved in a battle. So you've got to keep your eyes peeled for this one, because there's action everywhere. Everyone's just waiting for that right opportunity. As you see, Bernie Hook just having a quick glance behind him, just seeing if the 19 of Phil Mappleback is closing in on him, because at the moment he's involved in a battle for 4th place. But Jamie King leading away from Jason Pugh. Ian Jackson desperately trying to hold on to the back of Jason Pugh, but it's about a 1.3 seconds advantage, but it's looking good now for Jamie.
Yeah, you could just see Wendy at the side of the circuit there giving Jay a little bit of a clap as he goes past. You could just see him waving back there, so that's always brilliant to see. Jamie, he's out there having fun. He looks confident. Took a little bit of a look behind him on the back straight. Saw he now has a little bit of breathing space. He's flying at the front of this one. Jason Pugh still in second. Ian Jackson all over the back wheel of him, and that battle for fourth really hotting up as well. Steve Briggs now with a little bit of breathing space ahead of Fraser Kinnaird, and just ahead of the number 0 of Bernie Hook as well. So these guys still throwing everything at it as Bernie Hook has a look, tries to go around the outside, not quite going to work through there. He's trying everything he can to get past the number 3 of Fraser Kinnaird. He's mastered life over in the senior mini motos. Now he's having a go at the MotoTeam category as well, and it's always great to see these guys having to go at several different classes. Of course, Jamie King being the prime example, pit bike 140 champion, and now trying his luck on a Superstock 125.
Yeah, and it shows you that if you've got a bike at home and you think, oh, it's been a bit dusty, I haven't been on it too long, well, get involved, get yourself on the grid. There's plenty of space, and of course there's a brilliant community here at FAB that all want to see you enjoy yourselves as we look to see Bernie Hook on the back straight as the 0 closes in on the 3 of Fraser Kinnaird, and Fraser just about holding on to position ahead of Bernie Hook as the 3 of them go around the final corner. Maybe not as aggressively as what we saw from Ian Jackson so earlier on, where he was, as you say, using the majority of the runoff areas. He probably tried to go for a visit down to the beach with how wide he was going, but he's now holding on to third place, trying to close in. The gap now between himself and Jason Pugh is down to less than half a second, so Jason Pugh dragging himself to second place because Jamie King is now starting to extend that lead. 2.8 seconds the leader has over second.
Yeah, he's visiting the beach as well. Is Jamie King? He's off. He wants to get this race over and done with. He's flying out the front, leaving all these guys behind. 2.8 seconds it was last time across the line. What will it be this time as we just wait for Jason Pugh to come across? 4.1 seconds now is the lead Jamie King has over Jason Pugh, so he's really put the hammer down. Of course, he is a champion, double champion for a reason. Jason Pugh, though, defending this second place over Ian Jackson. It's all about these two now. Who's going to take that second place overall in this race 1 for the Moto team? The first race for the 2021 season here at the FAB-Racing Minibike British Championships. The number 8 there, you can see defending his lines, making sure there's no way through for the number 7 of Ian Jackson, but that's not going to stop the number 7, because we know that he's going to use every single piece of track to try and make his way through. 1 lap remaining in this 8-lap race then. Yeah,
as Jason Pugh still holds on to second place. The gap now down to 0.3 of a second. He's with fingernails out as he's desperately trying to claw his way. He just wants to see the checkered flag. But Jamie King up at front is really enjoying his life there on his bike in this new class. The 5.1 second advantage he's got over Jason Pugh, which shows you just how much time you can lose once you start defending, because as soon as Jamie got to the front, he just checked out. Jason Pugh has been looking behind him pretty much the entire race and seeing Ian Jackson just waiting like a shark in the water that's smelling blood, and you can think that in the final lap of this one, Ian Jackson is going to come around and have a go. But onto the final lap comes Jamie King, and the man that is the reigning champion is coming around the final time, and he's got about 6 corners left to go, and the 76 is just about holding on to this lead of about 5.4 seconds. And since getting to the front, it's been pretty easy for your reigning PB 140 champion. He's now coming into the final 4 corners of the lap, of the race, of the day. It's the final race of the day for the FAB-Racing Minibike British Championships from here in Lydd, as Jamie looks to the crowd on the side, goes around the final corner, getting ready to take the checker for the first time this season. Jamie King is your winner in the Moto team class. Easy as pie for the 76. Jason Pugh is going to get second place ahead of Ian Jackson, involved in a brilliant battle all race long with the 7 and the 8. And in fourth place will go to Steve Briggs ahead of Bernie Hook, and Bernie Hook getting himself up into 5th place, passing Fraser Kinnaird. But then we've still got battles on circuit all the way down to the back end of the auto. Phil Mapplebeck and Vince Bailey are battling it out down the back straight for the final time and changing positions as Phil Mapplebeck tries to get the move done. But it is Jamie King, your race winner. He finishes off the day in exactly the right fashion.
soaking in the glory, Jay, waving to the crowd, waving to the marshals, taking his victory lap, parading around, giving us a wave up the commentary box as well. Brilliant stuff from the number 76 of Jamie King. He is a champion for a reason, and he is enjoying a new category as well. Perhaps we'll get another championship in another category. We don't want to jinx him just yet. A long, long way to go.
Yeah, maybe another extension to that trophy camp that he's been building over the last few years as part of FAB. And Jamie does a lot of work behind the scenes with FAB, with working with the younger drivers and equally doing a lot on the social media side. So it's great to see him doing well. And we know how much he loves this. We spoke to him earlier and he was saying, I'm really looking forward to this season. It's going to be a good one. He's been working, he's been doing some endurance racing over the winter period as well. And clearly it's paid dividends. What do we expect from this one? Jason Pugh, it looks as though Jason Pugh's going to be in pretty good condition to have a good run of this, but Will Howarth, that unknown quantity once again.
Yeah, Will Howarth starting from the back of the grid on that fully blacked out number 96 Metrokit GP50. He will be running in this class, and so watch him carving through the field as this race goes on. You can see him there already in third place on this warm-up lap. They will use one more warm-up lap as opposed to two that we were seeing the other classes using earlier on, and then we'll line up on the grid and get ready to do battle in this one. But yeah, I mean, watch out obviously for the number 76 of Jamie King. He's going to be looking to take another win in his class and another win overall. You can see how much he enjoyed it yesterday, and rightfully so, because he deserved it. He worked hard, he got through, he got a good start, made his way through on Jason Pugh, and then just made his way to the front of the race.
Yeah, and Jamie will be looking at doing the same thing again in this one, and he's out front at the moment, just testing out the bike, making sure everything's all good to go. Jason Pugh equally behind him, and Jason, who I think is going to be eyeing up that MotoTeam class championship win this season, and he's had a pretty good start winning in class yesterday, and well, he picked up a couple of wins last season, but unfortunately the title went to Simon Clowes at the end. It just fell away from him in the last round and a half or so at Red Lodge, where he just had a couple of technical issues, a couple of bike issues, and well, fortunately for Simon Clowes, he was able to use a pretty strong final round to take that championship. Jason, however, on the baby blue 8 machine, has a quick glance behind, just tries to see where he is in comparison to the rest of his rivals on circuit. But Moto teamers, we've got a bike down
Will
to
Howarth,
the side. Yeah, it is.
I'm pretty sure that's Will Howarth that unfortunately has a problem already. So we were singing his praises. We were saying watch out for him coming from the back of the grid. But it looks as if he's got a problem with that Metrokit machine. Just trying to run that back to the pits. Yeah, that is definitely Will Howarth. You can see Will written on the back of his helmet there. So really unfortunate start for the number 96. Not what we were expecting to see. But well, I guess now our focus is completely on the number 76 of Jamie King, the number 8 of Jason Pugh, and the usual suspects at the front of this one.
Yeah, so it will be Jamie King versus Jason Pugh off the line. Who gets the launch? It was a good start from Jason Pugh yesterday. Jamie King, can he get around the outside and get the move done for T1? But there you go, lights out, and it's a great start from Jason Pugh. He once again holds on to the lead. Jamie King in second place behind everyone, filtering through the first chicane all cleanly, and it looks as though once again it's a good start from the baby blue machine. Jamie King already on his back tyre as they go around turn 2 through the exit of the second chicane to the back end of the circuit at the long hairpin. Jamie King trying to get down the inside. Can he get the drive on exit? It looks as though they're going to go side by side through turn 4, and Jamie King trying to get the run. In fact, he's got the move done on Jason Pugh. Good move there. Jamie King, yesterday's race winner, back up into the lead.
Looks as if there was a problem for someone a bit further back there, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. There was just a rider putting his hand up in the background. Couldn't quite see who it was in the corner of the shot, but it is now Jamie King, your race leader, yesterday's race winner, of course. Jason Pugh's going to do all he can to stay on the back of Jamie King, but of course Jason Pugh doesn't have to finish in front of Jamie King to score points in his own category. They're both running in different categories, of course. Jamie King running in Superstock and Jason Pugh running in the Supersport category, so slightly different categories, but they will both want the overall win, surely.
Absolutely so, and Jason Pugh, he had to watch Jamie King disappear up the road yesterday. Well, he's going to want to stay with him this time around. However, Jamie King off the line, a 48.836. Jason Pugh, a 49.603. So Jamie King does have this one at the moment. Bernie Hook's made his way up into third place, so it's been good stuff for Bernie, who's in this MotoTeam class. We didn't really see him too much on the bigger bikes last season, but when he does get involved in it, you can see he takes that move up from the senior Minimotos pretty well.
Yeah, we just saw Jason Pugh looking down there, so possibly a problem there. We'll have to keep an eye on that. We did notice when he was in the pit lane he needed a bit of help being bumped start to get out onto the grid. I think it was Rossi Banham that helped him have a bit of gave him a bit of a push so he could bump start his bike to get on the grid. He doesn't seem to be having any problems, but might be something there that we're not aware of that's just holding him back a little bit. But we'll have to wait and see how that one pans out, because it is Jamie King putting down the pace, putting in the laps at the front of this race. The number 76, of course, double pit bike 140 champion, and now having a go over in the Moto team category, looking really confident, really strong at the front of this one. In third place it is the number 3 with the black and yellow bike of Fraser Kinnaird, similar livery to the old VR46 Junior Academy there, perhaps inspired by that. But yeah, the number 3 in third place is Fraser Kinnaird. Bernie Hook as well, who we saw earlier on taking 2 wins in the senior Minimotos. He's 4th in this one, ahead of number 19 of Phil Mapplebeck, who rounds out your top 5. Phillip, Joyce, Alistair Kinnaird, Iona Glover and Vince Bailey all in there as well, with Ian Jackson, the number 7, who didn't quite get to start this one, but we saw yesterday very strong indeed.
Yeah, as Fraser Kinnaird got past Bernie Hook on that a lap and a half ago. He's now moved up into that podium position. Bernie dropping down to 4th position. Wants to get the move done. Of course, he wants to be back on the podium where he's so used to frequenting. But Jamie King now with a 2-second advantage over Jason Pugh. Clearly those bike issues for Jason may have just abated ever so slightly. But Fraser, he'll be pretty happy with that third place at the moment. But he's got Bernie Hook behind him, and Bernie, that wily old fox in the FAB-Racing paddock, is not willing to give up on any sniff of a podium.
No, absolutely not. He knows exactly what it takes to be finishing on podiums and winning races, and he's translating those skills into the Moto team category here as well, all over the rear wheel of the number 3 of Fraser Kinnaird. He can smell a podium and he is absolutely gunning for it, so it's all between these two now, the number 3 and the number 0. 4 laps into this race, who's going to be able to take it? You can see Fraser Kinnaird going very, very defensive going into the final corner, uses every inch of the circuit on the exit, and Bernie Hook all over the rear wheel.
Yeah, and doing a great job at the moment, just keeping the pressure on, just keeping in the eye line every time Fraser Kinnaird takes a quick look behind. Jamie King managing to go fastest that time around. 45.761 is the fastest lap of the race, comfortably faster than Jason Pugh, who's now 3 seconds off the back of the 76. So Jamie King on for another decent result here to open up his season in this new category. In fact, Jason Pugh pulling to the side. It looks as though there's been contact between 2 riders. Right off to the infield, we've got a yellow flag out, and it involves Jason Pugh that's gone off, and he's having a look back. We've got a rider down. Yeah, Jason Pugh just taking a look back there. A rider off to the inside on the exit of turn 5, and that was the man that was running first in category in the MotoTeam Supersport class. And well, he's going to fall down the order now, surely. Yeah, Fraser Kinnaird now up into 2nd position, and unfortunately Jason Pugh didn't quite see what happened, but just outside of the commentary box I saw a bike down, and Jason Pugh running across the grass. Possibly
tagged a back marker or something there, did Jason Pugh, because there's a rider off on the side of the circuit, and Jason Pugh obviously had some sort of issue there, but is now back in this race and is in this battle for 2nd now between Fraser Kinnaird, obviously Jason Pugh, and the number 0 of Bernie Hook. So now this battle for 2nd place is a 3-way battle, and I believe that is the number that is Vince Bailey that's off to the side of the circuit,
and Iona Glover I think was standing next to her. So yeah, it looks as though we've got a couple of riders that have had issues in this one. And but however, Jason Pugh, after seemingly having that problem with one of the riders, has now started to close back in on Fraser Kinnaird for 2nd position. But Bernie Hook is staying on this. He's now not only sniffing a podium, but 2nd place is on for him. He wants that on circuit. But yeah, a couple of riders having issues in this one. And but up ahead, Jason Pugh fighting with Fraser Kinnaird, trying to go down the inside into the long hairpin at the back end of the circuit, not willing to give up on that time that he lost earlier on. But Fraser doing a good job putting that bike in all the right positions.
Yeah, Fraser making himself as wide as possible, making sure there's no way through for Jason Pugh and no way through for the number 0 of Bernie Hook. Yellow flags being waved in the background, but we're all clear as we go down into the final corner. So defensive from the number 3, Fraser Kinnaird, just making sure there is no way through for the number 8 of Jason Pugh. Jason Pugh all over his rear wheel now as they head through the first chicane down towards the back part of the circuit. Has a little look down into the next one. Can't quite make a move stick there, but he's all over the rear wheel of it now. They're just slightly dropping the number 0 of Bernie Hook now. He's just dropping off the back of these guys a little bit, but it's Jason Pugh who's really trying hard to make it and find his way through. You can see there Iona Glover at the side of the circuit, perhaps a little bit winded there, up and okay, but just a little bit winded, unfortunately, for Iona Glover. Jamie King, we haven't seen anything from him. He's just gone and left and checked out at the front of this one. But they're going down into the final corner. They're having a little look into it, and he's made the move stick. Jason Pugh, a brilliant move for second place there from Jason Pugh. What a move from the baby blue.
Yeah, brilliant overtake from Jason Pugh on the 8 bike ahead of Fraser Kinnaird. So with 2 laps left to go, Jamie King, as you say, has rightly checked out the front, 9.3 seconds advantage over Jason Pugh and Fraser Kinnaird. Bernie Hook is a little bit further behind. The battle for second, third and fourth is around about 0.7 of a second, splitting the 3 bikes. But Jamie King very much just out there, a little bit of a training day for Jamie, just out there cruising on his bike, making sure it's all working correctly. Has a quick glance around, trying to see whether everyone else is on circuit. Has time to just take in the sea breeze here down on the south coast of England as he comes around to start the final lap of the second race of the season for the Moto team class. And Jamie King on that 76 just has one final lap of this Lydd circuit, but behind it's Jason Pugh that's now got a whole heap of bikes behind him. He's got Fraser Kinnaird, Bernie Hook, and Phil Mapplebeck is starting to close in on a decent result. But Phil in 5th position, Phil Joyce back in 6th place, and Alistair Kinnaird in 7th. But it's Jason Pugh with that great move down into the final corner, back up into 2nd. Jamie King, with just a few corners left to go, is looking at picking up his 2nd win on the season as they come down to the final few corners onto the back straight. Jamie King has absolutely cruised this one. He's the one hand on the handlebars as he goes down to the final corner. He's coming around the final corner, just got to keep it on 2 wheels, and I'm sure he will do, but he's going to take the checker. Jamie King, 2-time winner here in the Moto team class, absolutely cruises across the line. No distance being fed behind. It's Kinnaird that's got up ahead of Jason Pugh on the line, and Bernie Hook. This looks as though he's going to go side by side, but it is Fraser Kinnaird that snatches it on the final lap. 0.2 of a second between himself and Jason Pugh. Bernie Hook back in 4th. What a result there. Fraser Kinnaird clearly made that move right at the final moments.
Yeah, shame we missed that battle at the end there between Fraser Kinnaird and Jason Pugh, but we had to pay dividends to the number 76 of Jamie King. We had to show him the respect because he is the race winner. That is 2 wins from 2 for Jamie King. He goes round, does another parade lap coming down towards the back straight. He'll give us all a wave as he comes down the back straight. Gives us a wave in commentary as well. Brilliant stuff from Jamie King.
On the road to MotoGP, this is FAB Racing.